Forget everything you think you know about foreign policy, all the complex maps, the thousand-page briefings. Today, we're going to break down a really distinct geopolitical worldview using one simple and honestly kind of startling analogy that might just change how you see the whole game of international relations.
So how does Donald Trump look at the world? You probably picture this huge geopolitical map, right? Full of these complex alliances and deep-seated historical rivalries. But what if the lens he's using isn't a map at all? What if it's something way, way simpler, like a coin slot on a machine?
Okay, let's really dig into this idea. To get a handle on this foreign policy approach, we first have to wrap our heads around what it actually means to see the entire planet through such a tiny, focused opening.
This slide right here, it gets to the absolute heart of it. On one side, you've got your standard view of geopolitics, this big, complicated web of history, culture, alliances. But on the other side, you've got the coin slot view. And it's like a filter that just boils everything down to one single, brutally simple question. What do you bring to me? What's in it for us? This isn't just a different point of view, it's a completely different operating system for foreign policy.
So this worldview runs on a very specific, stripped-down kind of logic. It's not about diplomacy, not in the traditional sense anyway. It's all about the pure mechanics of a deal. Let's break down the three core pieces. First out, how do you even define a nation? Well, it's simple. A nation is a potential partner. All that other stuff, its deep history, its incredible culture, its shared values, all of that is secondary. The number one thing that matters is its usefulness in a potential deal.
Second, what is politics? It's not the art of diplomacy. It's the art of the deal. International relations get simplified right down to contracts and transactions. The goal is always a clear, tangible result you can hold in your hand.
And finally, the signature on the dotted line. In this way of thinking, signing a treaty isn't some grand symbol of a long-term alliance or a shared destiny. Nope, it's a receipt. It's the final proof that a real, concrete benefit has been locked in for your side.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this transactional logic actually work in the real world? Let's take a look at a really fascinating case, Vietnam. Why did Vietnam suddenly pop up on the radar?
If you're looking through that coin slot, Vietnam is a goldmine of tangible assets. It's a new factory for the world, sure, but that means it's a way to diversify your supply chains, to not be so dependent on one country. It's a strategic counterweight to China, yeah, but that also makes it a key chess piece in the whole South China Sea game. You see, these aren't sentimental reasons. They're cold, hard, strategic calculations that make Vietnam a super valuable partner in this transactional world.
So you can see how this logic makes a country like Vietnam just jump into focus. It's incredibly good at spotting value. But, and this is the crucial part, a lens that's this sharp is also incredibly narrow. There are things it's designed to see and a whole world that it's designed to completely ignore.
And this slide just nails that trade-off, doesn't it? The coin slot view is brilliant at spotting tangible benefits, immediate value, economic utility. But because it's so laser-focused on the what, it completely misses the why. A nation's history, its culture, its very soul. These are the things that give you the deep, long-term context for why they do what they do. And in this worldview, all of that is just invisible.
And that leads us to a really critical and, a pretty dangerous question. If this is how others see you, what happens if you start to see yourself that way?
The risk here is huge. If a nation starts to define its own worth only by the tangible benefits it can offer to other people, then it's basically accepted the coin slot worldview for itself. And when you sit down at the negotiating table, if you act like a commodity, well, you're going to be treated like nothing more than a commodity.
So, what's the big takeaway here? How does a country navigate a world where it might be seen this way? It really comes down to understanding the difference between a transaction and your identity. It's all about protecting a nation's stature. So, how do you fight back? The line gets drawn right here. It's not about refusing to do business, that's not realistic. Engaging in transactions, pursuing mutual benefits, that's just smart foreign policy. But selling your national stature, letting your country become just another item for sale, that is a line you can never, ever cross.
And, maybe the best way to sum this all up is with this powerful Vietnamese proverb, when with Buddha, wear a cassock. When with ghosts, wear paper clothes. It's basically a call for pragmatic adaptation. It means you understand exactly who you're dealing with and you act accordingly. Be transactional when you have to be, but never ever forget who you really are. The question that leaves for any nation is, how do you wear paper clothes without becoming paper yourself?